Hi everyone, it's Davey from EndlesslyHeSaid. This is a video I wanted to do for quite a while since I thought about starting YouTube, and I'm really glad I'm getting to do this. So today I'm going to talk about why I am straight edge. Straight edge came about in 1981 in the Washington DC area with the band Minor Threat and their song Straight Edge. Minor Threat have been a big impact on a lot of people's lives, and they're not the be-all and end-all of straight edge, but that's definitely where it started. I'd like to speak of my experiences growing up and why I'm straight edge and why I'm still straight edge now and what that means to me. So straight edge means that you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't take drugs. And growing up I did drink and I did smoke and I did experiment with weed over a few years, and that happened mostly between when I was 13, 14, up until about the age of 19. I lived in a village that had literally nothing going on. What really turned me on to the idea that I don't need drugs or alcohol in my life was when my friends started to get a little bit older. I moved out here to Coventry, and living in a big city there's a lot more going on. I was able to see bands every weekend at local venues. I was able to watch these hardcore bands and these punk rock bands, music that I'd grown up with since I was 11 or 12, listening to bands like Green Day and The Offspring, and later hardcore bands like Sick of It All and H2O and Madball. And that's who I was. Like, I grew up with this punk rock music, and for the longest time I was aware that there were sober people in the world, but I was not really clued into the idea of straight edge. When my friends started experimenting with harder drugs, I saw a change happen, and I saw them become people that I didn't recognize anymore. These people that I'd known for years and years and years, I'd watched them become something else, completely disconnect from reality and completely disconnect from themselves. That was the point that I decided to check out of taking any drugs. I saw the effects that these hard drugs would have on my friends, and I just didn't want to be involved in that, and that terrified me. Shortly after that, when I started working full-time, I found myself in a place where I was drinking and I was smoking. I didn't want to experiment with drugs, but I was realizing that over a year or so of doing this, living in the city, that these things were slowly destroying who I was as a person. And I realized that finishing work and going and drinking heavily straight after, and then going back in and doing it the next day, was not who I was. I made an effort to give up cigarettes, which is a really hard thing to do. If anyone has ever smoked and given up, well done. It's really hard to do. Stopped drinking alcohol for the longest time. That was a really, really nice experience. Like, it was something that I'd not call myself straight edge, but I'd kind of experimented with sobriety. I know a lot of people have come from a place where they've never taken drugs or alcohol, but I wanted to be straight and I wanted to be honest that I had that in my life in the past, and now I realise it's not for me. In turning it around, I decided that I wasn't going to do this ever again. Incredibly inspiring to have that network of people around you and to be able to find some support, even if you are living on your own like I was, and even if you are looking to reach out to people that aren't necessarily in your immediate reach. But going out to clubs and to go out just to get smashed and to try and meet someone was never what I had in mind when I just wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to feel like a sense of belonging, but I soon realised that I'm definitely out of step with a lot of those ideals. That just wasn't for me. So I went straight edge when I was 21, and that was in 2007, and I'm 30 now, and I have never looked back. For me, straight edge has been something that has always been a part of my life when I claimed it, and it's something that I never ever want to give up. It relates heavily to what I'm involved in and what I love, and that's hardcore and punk and alternative and extreme music, and that is so prevalent today. I think that the way that the UK has taken on to straight edge and the way that there is a scene now for it is incredible. Where it came out of America, and it was just looking up to people that you respect and people that were straight edge in bands that you loved listening to growing up. It was incredible to see bands like Violent Reaction, bands like Repentance. It's incredible to see such a vibrant straight edge scene going on in the UK right now, and it's incredible to see that happening right across Europe and in the world as well. There's new straight edge bands coming up all the time, and I think that overall the community that we have together whether that is online or whether that is in person, brings us closer together. Straight edge for me has always been about positivity, and it's always been about a positive way of living. And I learned that from the bad brains, that you've got to have that PMA, you've got to have that attitude, that positive mental attitude, and that is something that continues with me. I have never ever seen straight edge as a negative thing. I never want anyone to think that straight edge people think that they're better than them. That's simply not the case, and certainly not the case for me. Straight edge is all about positivity and inclusion. I have the best time with my friends that aren't straight edge. I have the best time with my friends that are straight edge, and those aren't two separate groups, they're people all together. And I'm really, really excited that those people can just coexist and we can get along and we can be who we individually want to be. But it's something that I feel consciously that I do want to do every day. It's something that consciously I don't want to look back and think, have I wasted my time? I think ultimately I'd rather be spending my money on having fun with my friends and my family, and having fun with buying records and experiences and just having the best time, rather than taking all of that money and putting it into something which can be incredibly damaging, not just to yourself but to the people around you. The way that I've seen people affected by alcohol and drugs and cigarettes, it's just been terrifying, and that's something that I'd never want to go back to for myself. Gandhi has said we must be the change we want to see in the world, and I do believe that with everything that I do with my life, whether that is straight edge, whether that is veganism, whether that's standing up for what I believe in. If we do make that decision, then people will look to us and people will ask questions and people will want to see why we're doing what we're doing. I think straight edge is incredibly relevant today. I know that there have been people in the past that have been straight edge for a long period and then they've stopped being straight edge, and that's fine. If people do stop being straight edge, that's up to them. Personally, I can always see myself being straight edge. It's not something that I ever think is going to change about myself, and I know that when I'm bringing up my family and I'm around the people that I love and I care about, I do want to be that example. I do think that we should make a conscious decision about how we're living our lives, how that's affecting the people around us, and how that's affecting ourselves. At the end, like I said, it's all about positivity, and it's all about being the person that you want to be. I hope that this video has been useful for anyone that's been interested in straight edge, or anyone that's been following me and wants to know more about this. I'm happy to answer any comments or questions, and please leave them below in the comment box. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been supporting me on this channel, and thank you for subscribing and liking. And if you're not subscribing, please do that. It really, really helps, and it's really lovely to have that kind of encouragement too. Thank you for watching this video. You can check out my other videos in the channel as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.